Hey guys, Jason here. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. Gonna do a book review video today, and so the book I'm talking about is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is the first book in the First Law Trilogy. So yeah, it is fantasy. It's grimdark, I guess, is what people say, which, I guess, is just like very, very dark, gritty, very realistic sort of motivations for people, very gray, moral stuff going on. And yeah, it was definitely that. I really liked this book. Yeah, it was really entertaining and made me really want to read the next book. The main thing that this book does really well, I think, is setting up like the world and the political structure in the world, and also getting you really invested in the characters in the book. And that's pretty much what the book was. It wasn't very, there's not a lot of plot elements involved. There's basically 4 or so kind of point of view characters that are like your main characters that each chapter kind of goes back and forth between. And you basically, through, the book, you kind of see what they do, what they're doing, and what their position is in the world that they live in. And then you get little flashbacks to stuff that happened to them in the past, so you get a sense of how they got there, and but not really where they're gonna go or what they want out of anything really. There's some the last bit of this book, there's some stuff you're gonna go here and you're gonna go here and you're gonna go here and you're gonna do this. But most of the book is, like I said, it's basically more of an introduction to these characters and getting you just invested in the characters. And my assumption is that really the next 2 books in the series are where the plot is really going to start to move, which is really, I think, a great way to do a book. Because if you go too heavy, I feel like if you go too heavy on plot stuff, especially in a big, long kind of story like this, if you go too heavy on plot and you don't spend enough time building your characters, then we just don't really care about them so much. So it was really nice that he spent the time to really develop these characters, and they're awesome. I love Glokta, whatever, even though he's not a good person, but he's such an interesting character, and I want to read more about him, and I feel bad for him sometimes. I don't know. Basically, he's an inquisitor for the king or whatever, and so his job is to torture people and get confessions. And he's fully aware that his job is not really to find the truth, but to get the confession that the king wants. So he'll be get this guy to blame this guy on, and whatever. So he goes and he tortures him, and he gets him to do it. He's particularly good at this job because he spent a couple years in a prisoner of war camp, being tortured by the enemy of this war that happened. It sounds like roughly 10 years prior to the events in this book, between whatever country they're from, I can't even remember the name of it, and the Gurkish Empire. So there's this emperor down in the south that they were at war. They were at war with this empire, and yeah, he was captured. He was a prominent figure in the army. He was a master swordsman. He was, by all accounts, destined for greatness, and he got captured, and they tortured the hell out of him, and he's physically, disabled permanently from this. He's got no teeth. His leg is so messed up that he can barely walk, and he's in constant agony. And so yeah, and people don't want to see him. They like have kind of swept him under the rug. They can't like out and out get rid of him because he, like I said, he was a big kind of high up figure in the army at the time. But people choose to just pretend like he never made it back. And you know, he honestly even says that maybe his life would have been better if he hadn't made it back, if he had died there. And who knows? He's a very depressed character. But he's so awesome. His internal monologue is so good, and he's witty. He kind of reminds me of like Tyrion Lannister, but like even darker. He's just a great character. And then, you know, you got Logan Ninefingers, this big brutish Northman who, you know, he's got his own history and everything, and the book goes really into detail around all these characters. And that's what this book really shines at doing. And like I said, also the political structure that's going on, like you understand like how the class system works. There's one character, his name's Jazal, and he's like noble born, and he's into this girl who's like common, and there's all this stuff about how he can't date her because people would laugh at him and his parents wouldn't accept the marriage and blah 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 blah. So there's all this like social pressure around that. Yeah, things like that. So it's like it set up the world building was really interesting, and it set up all these different conflicts with these different factions that I assume, like I said, is going to be explored in the next book. So I'm super eager to read the next book. So yeah, like I said, I thought it was really great. I thought it was a great start to the series. I've heard that this is like one of the best fantasy series out there. This trilogy, and then he also has 3 kind of standalone books that are in the same universe, and then he's also writing like a second trilogy which takes place further in the future, more like during like an industrial type of era. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep reading them. I mean, it's really good. I'm really excited to get to the next one. So that's kind of where I'm at. I won't talk too much about it because I think that everyone should read this. So that's all I've got, pretty much. If anyone else has any other thoughts beyond that, or, you know, whatever, I don't know, wants to reassure me that the books continue in the direction that I think they're going to go, yeah, just leave me a comment. And or if, you know, there's something similar to this that you think I might like, leave it in the comments. I'm going to finish up the book I'm reading right now, and then I'm going to start the second book. So it shouldn't be too long, and then I'll review that one as well once I finish it. So anyway, that's all I got for you. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.